Hey everyone, as you'll notice there are three of us. We are here with the lovely Annie Atomic. Hi Annie.
Hi, it is actually Anne though.
Anne? I don't know, I kept saying Annie, my apologies.
I've been saying what Jess is
It's
saying
no
this
problem.
whole time.
I just guessed, and yeah, I probably should have asked. My apologies. So,
it's intended as a pun, if you think about it a little.
That makes sense.
Fair enough. Okay, well played. So, so I first off really appreciate you coming on because you've been through kind of a weird whirlwind ride in the last 3-ish weeks.
I have. I mean, I really appreciated you doing a stream on it and everything, bringing some attention to it because I feel like it did need attention.
Well, and I'm not on Twitch, which gives me the ability to yell at Twitch without any fear of any kind of repercussion, which sadly a lot of streamers are on there, so the issue is, right, they have to kind of worry if that's going to come after them.
And yeah.
So, no, Twitch is super weird with its rules. I watch a lot of Vosh occasionally, and like his big issue was being banned off Twitch for the longest time, which of course cut him out of panels, debates, a whole bunch of other stuff, because if you're banned off Twitch, you can't talk to anyone on Twitch. It's weirdly alienating.
It is. I'm not a fan of that rule.
No one should be, because it's a terrible rule. I mean, sure, if someone's on there like wearing the outfit and doing neo-Nazi rhetoric, I suppose I'm down for it in those contexts, but that feels like an extreme. So, yeah. So I guess, why don't you tell, like, my subscribers, like, so what exactly happened? Because I know I've read the story in a couple places now. Obviously, we covered it on stream, but I guess from your own words, what the fuck happened?
Well, in general, from very early on when I started doing this, I got a lot of hate, and it didn't take me long to get, like, my first ban, which was for adult nudity for 3 days. And I couldn't figure out why. And so it's like, okay, just got to try and be extra careful, I guess. I don't know. I started wearing pasties to be safe. And then I got wearing the same stuff again, got like an inappropriate attire one for 1 day, which again, no clue. And then not long after that, I got the next adult nudity ban, and then it was indefinite, which is pretty rare for them to do. And after most people don't get it after only 3 either. It just, it was pretty obvious that things were not right there. So I wasn't doing anything different than anyone else was doing.
Yeah, so you were in the situation of, you had done nothing wrong. You even took like actual steps to make sure there wasn't any kind of possibility of a fuck up. And all of a sudden it's like bam, 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 within a very short amount of time, there's these warnings and then suddenly the ban's coming through. I guess the thing I would say is, like, you said almost immediately being on there, you started getting harassment. I've seen some of it from the articles. I assume that's like a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of it. If I look at the stuff that I get, there's a lot of overlap, certain acronyms, or, graphic descriptions of various things that you do or do not have because they're being assholes and they're copy pasting from fucking 4chan. I guess, how bad did it get at any particular point, I wonder?
Oh, it got pretty bad, especially it got better once I started getting some mods, because I started doing this. I didn't have any mods, or I had like one mod. He was usually there in my streams. It's like early on, even when I was streaming for 3 people and stuff. And he wasn't like always there though. And so that was all I had. And so it took me a little time to find some reliable people who wanted to mod for me and stuff. So it started getting better once I had that. But at the start, it was especially bad because, I had no idea how to handle all that. I was totally unprepared for the amount of viewers and hate and everything I got very suddenly. And there was one particularly bad night where I think the Kotaku article included the picture of that tweet went pretty viral. It wasn't by me, but it was because I got raided by 4chan. That night someone had made a post on 4chan, like politics section or something, and it had gotten a lot of attention, and they had just been like coming into my stream in droves, just trying to be as hateful as possible. And I mean, I get a lot, but I made the mistake of reading that 4chan thread after my stream, and it is.
Oh no! Oh God, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, new rule. Don't read that shit. That's digital self-harm. Don't.
It's, when people can be totally anonymous on the internet like they can on 4chan, it's bad. Makes everything I got on Twitch look like nothing by comparison, you know?
Absolutely. Well, because on 4chan, I mean, the system's made to basically just allow alt-writers to be on there talking shit about any minority group they want, and this isn't the 100th time this has happened. Demon Mama's streams have been put in poll threads. We've had at least 2 separate raids. I'm lucky enough that I had really good mods from near get-go, and after our first one, we kind of learned a bunch of lessons on how to fix our security, but it is really fucking hard because, like, while yes, cis women do get harassment, and I'm not in any way justifying or saying that's lesser or, in any way not shitty, as I explained with the trans misogyny bit we just did, the fact is, the stuff that we get is so exponentially worse. Because it's not just them attacking you for being a woman, it's also them attacking you for being trans. And you have the added thing that is, I imagine, is additionally, not I want to say complicating factor, but in some ways, I don't know if it's additional ammo for them or if they even bring this up, but you do have 2 different Twitter accounts. One of them is your general Twitch one, as far as I can tell. The other one seems to be more like OnlyFans sex work type of stuff.
Yeah, I don't really use that one anymore, but I do have that stuff out there. That's I would say the other thing would be the hot tub in general, because every hot tub streamer has that, you know?
Yeah.
That kind of goes with the territory. If you're going to hot tub stream, you tend to have that stuff, just how you make most of your money. So,
well, yeah, because you're basically, in that regard, I mean, let's be clear, you're essentially doing a lighter form of sex work. Like, if you're doing the hot tub stream, people are tuning in because they like your personality and they also like your body, and that's why they're there. And if you're a woman and you're doing this, you're a cis woman, I can imagine the comments they get. I haven't looked, mostly because I like myself, but I've seen the things that have been sent to you, which feels so over the top. And it seems like, and again, I'm not on Twitch, so I don't know the mechanisms of it, but it seems like Twitch is real bad at dealing with this in any conceivable way.
Very true. They don't really seem to care about that. They just sort of let people moderate themselves, I guess, which honestly, I'm okay with, like, as long as they aren't penalizing me for that. You know, as long as I'm not getting banned because there are so many hateful people they've allowed to continue on their platform who can then mass report me and get my channel taken down. Like, at least it needs to at least go both ways. If they're not going to do anything to them, they shouldn't be doing anything to us either.
Absolutely. And additionally, you'd think there would be... Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just agreeing.
Oh, yeah. So I would say, like, additionally, there's a factor in there of, you would think if all of a sudden you were getting these types of reports, rather than just do the automated algorithm ban hammer, why wouldn't instead someone check in to see what's going on there, especially when we're talking about someone in a marginalized group? Like, that's what doesn't make sense to me, is that not only is this thing clearly transphobic, both in the intention of the people reporting you, but also in the bizarre way that Twitch behaved on this, but additionally, well, and just transmisogynistic, if we're really honest, But additionally, the way it was handled seems to be this cold, robotic way. It wasn't like someone just had it out for you on, at the upper levels of Twitch. It wasn't that like you were having issues or like crossing lines. It was cold, unfeeling robot arm said no, and your sudden channel was gone. Like that's really fucking strange that nobody even thought to look at that.
It's I think it just comes down to they didn't really care. I wasn't big enough or anything for them to just really even bother. And if they did, it was probably easier for them to say, well, this person's causing a lot of controversy and other things. It's probably easier to just let them stay banned than to have to like potentially ban or remove users or something like that, or admit they're wrong, or I don't know. It's hard to get totally in their heads on it all, but
well, it always seems like they're very silent, ivory towering, right? Like the whole thing is like every time I talk to anyone who streams on Twitch, it always seems like y'all are just kind of like tiptoeing around like it's the panopticon and trying not to like get in trouble or trying not to cross any of the lines. And then suddenly the watchful eye of Sauron comes upon you and suddenly your channel's gone. Like with no warning, no clarity about what you actually did, or even any like checking of the veracity of the claim that made your channel gone. Like it feels so arbitrary and so anxiety producing.
It is. I mean, it's not even exclusive to trans or small streamers even too. There's a lot of big streamers and stuff like that who have been victim of this, of how Twitch handles things. And I don't think it's necessarily just a Twitch problem either here. I think this is a problem with tech in general. Because I know very few trans people personally who haven't been banned off Tinder. I've been permanently banned on there for being trans. Can't get it
really
undone. I have on TikTok. I did some streaming on there, and as soon as I got any kind of higher viewer levels, I would get banned. And then, I've had some stuff taken down on YouTube too already for all ridiculous reasons and stuff. I think it's a problem with tech in general, how they're letting bots totally handle everything. And I think their algorithms just are not as well designed as they should be.
I think you're absolutely right. I mean,
or they're not designed to help the people on the platforms. I mean, I'm sure the intent there is to make money, and that does not take people into account.
Well, I think their design is just the minimum required compliance with COPA or whatever it is, the Child Protection Act thing, or that stuff, just like the minimum amount that they have to do to be allowed to self-regulate. And so I think that's probably a big part of what it comes down to. They don't really care about it. They're just doing the minimum they have to keep like larger organizations or oversight out of their head.
No, I think that's probably true. And so on our channel, and I think this is true, that I think this is a direct problem with the way these systems work. With YouTube, the big issue with us has been, it's not that like videos have been taken down, but more so that the issue is that suddenly a video will have like a strike against it for being demonetized because of some absurd reason that actually doesn't seem to be correct. And then when I challenge it, they fix it. But like, for example, this is the weirdest thing. When we were covering this is the thing that was really frustrating about doing the video on you. It wasn't anything to do with you or your situation. It was that video is still in review because it's currently set to limited actual ad revenue. I have videos 2 weeks or later, and they have already been fully approved, but that video is literally being held back by the algorithm because it doesn't want to actually put that through for some reason. It's super frustrating.
That is, yeah. I think it's pretty typical of trans on the internet, and The other thing that companies do a lot too is they shadow ban, which I also am really not a fan of, because it's a hard thing to prove, especially on certain platforms, but it's existed. It's a well-known practice that's existed as long as the internet has existed, pretty much. And that's just companies try to intentionally steer people away from stuff that their personal views, basically, or what they think is best, rather than letting their algorithms even decide. They like to put that extra touch in to sort of boost or screw over certain groups or things like that.
Yeah.
It's very common on Twitter that if you're like a sex worker on Twitter and stuff, I know a lot of them, trans sex workers and stuff, and their reach will be severely limited because of that.
Oh, it's super weird, because I've actually seen this in real time. If you follow, say, a furry artist who's doing less than safe for work type of stuff, and you follow, say, a trans sex worker, that furry artist will go miles on Twitter. That trans sex worker, not so much. It's really strange. And I think you're really correct, is that there's something inherent in tech, be it YouTube, Twitter, or whatnot, where these are not set up to be protective of really anyone. The fact that, like, I mean, fuck, look at Twitter. Look how many TERFs are on Twitter. Like, the fact that we have to deal with like a newly coming out trans girl who's still really early into her transition, and all of a sudden she's getting bombarded by a whole bunch of quote unquote radical feminists. And what does it allow us to do? Sure, the trans community can come through and try to do like mass reports, but even when one of those works, it's not like they ban the person's IP. They just make a new account and come back.
Yep. That's
yeah, it's fucking insane.
Unfortunately, Twitch does that too. I really wish they would. They IP ban, creators. They do that, but they don't do that to users.
That's insane. Well, I am really sorry that this happened to you, because like I went and looked at your content. I'm not really a big Twitch person. For some reason, the whole site just makes my ADHD weird. Like, I'll be honest, it's just a lot of movement. But I did check out some of your stuff, and I'm like, this is like, you're just in a hot tub. Like it's cool. It's not that deep. And then if you look at other hot tub streamers, this is not a thing. Like, this is like, they have the same, like, they're doing the same thing, and yet, I don't know, it just seems really strange to me that, like, why would an algorithm not have the system built into it to notice when someone's getting mass reported, and then not go, oh, hey, they also got a fuck ton of hate, and there's a whole bunch of, like, people that suddenly got banned from the chat. Maybe we should look into that. Like, shouldn't there be an alarm or a red flag that goes off when those two things happen together?
There certainly should. It's
yeah.
It's just so bizarre.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you read that most recent Pink News article. I think you did your stream on that one, maybe, but
yeah,
it went into the Phantom Lord stuff, because I think his court case against Twitch is very would go a long ways. I think all platforms should have to do that sort of bare minimum, where if they're gonna do something like ban someone, like basically destroy their livelihood for a lot of people who take it, it's a serious full-time job for them. And if they're gonna do that, they should at least have to talk to them person to person, not just algorithms, and they should have to tell them exactly what the problem was and give them an opportunity to fix it. I think that's like bare minimum. And basically what else the lawsuit potentially would do would prevent no reason bans, which is basically what I got. It was more or less a no reason ban, because I didn't do anything. They just gave me a general list of possibilities, none of which I had done. And so
that's so fucked. You might have done any of these, just FYI.
Yes, that's all they do ever, and they never tell you, they never give you answers to any of it, and that's like kind of the legal gray area that Twitch is mucking in right now, because the more vague they are, the less clear they are with people, the more they can just sort of do whatever they want, ban, not ban, whoever. And like that is a very common complaint on Twitch, their inconsistency.
Well, and
with
especially
the rules with people.
Well, yeah, absolutely. And especially it sucks because essentially what you and I are doing is we're essentially acting based on our interactions with TOS. We're essentially acting in a sort of pseudo form of, it sounds like we are almost like contract employees, but we don't even get the same rights as contract employees. Like if a contract employee fucks up, you just don't renew their contract, or you tell them. You might see a person. Instead, you get an email that, like you said, gives you a laundry list of maybes.
Yep. You can't get a reply either. I mean, I've tried. The first reply that I've gotten was just a few days ago when I got unbanned. And if you read it, it's pretty silly too, because they didn't even... They didn't say even that I had done it. They just said, your ban was for this. Your account is now unsuspended. They didn't say I didn't do it. They didn't say I did. Then they just said, I mean, it's all silly. And that was all I got, though. Didn't give me any information beyond that, which is expected, I guess.
No, I saw that. I think I saw that one. That looked pretty rough.
By the way, hello to Prince in your chat. They said, hello, trans girl therapist. Hi.
Hi. Hello.
Hi from our chat as well. Patricia, one of my mods, is saying hi to everybody. I feel like the problem is like this feels so exploitative because Twitch is allowing these hot tub streams, which I think is fine. I think as long as, obviously this is something with adults watching, good to go, whatever. I'm fine with that. I think that's a perfectly acceptable, good form of work. Here's the concern I have is they're bringing in traffic, they're bringing in money, they are bringing in a shit ton of stuff on the bodies of these streamers. But you guys live under the sort of Damocles. There's literally a string between whether you guys get to keep your livelihood, and then again, it feel like this might feel like to people a little bit too much of an extreme comparison. But it feels like almost like a robotic pimp. I will be perfectly honest. It just feels really strange. Like at any moment, an arbitrary reason comes down and they can just find another hot tub streamer. It feels very, very cold and shitty. And I can imagine this has had an incredible negative effect on your mental health. How have you been dealing with this?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, ever since I got that first one, I've been in constant fear because I didn't understand it. I didn't know how to fix it. And it was just a huge worry of mine that could happen. It could end. And so like, it's hard for me to really commit or go fully all in too. And I mean, it destroyed me too when I did get permanently banned, because it all happened fast, and I had not had as much time as I wish I had to have build a larger following or branch out or do those sort of things yet, because I was still really focused on just trying to put my energy and learning and everything into Twitch. And so, yeah, not great for my mental health at all. Definitely a very stressful time period.
Yeah, and if I ask anything too personal, please let me know. I don't want to cross any boundaries, but I do want to know, you do have a good support system, and I hope you've considered, if you're not already, seeing someone who's like a mental health professional, because this stuff has to be a tremendous weight.
Oh, yeah, it is. I do have a counselor I started.
Oh, good. Oh,
seeing
good.
Again.
Yeah, I one of the things we try to do on this channel is be very open about like seeking therapy, being very picky about therapists. We have an entire video basically saying like, you're allowed to politically question your therapist from the get-go and be like, who did you vote for in the last election? Like, just to be very clear about whether this is safe for a trans person or any person for that matter. But I just wanted to make sure because like I don't know how I would react if all of a sudden I went to go turn on YouTube after blearily waking up, you know, at like 10 a.m. and being like, oh, the channel's just gone. Like I can't access it. They won't let me in. Like I can't imagine what that would be like. To me, that's panic attack inducing.
Oh, I'm sure Jess would be waking me up for with a panic attack at that point. Yeah, well, like it's. I think part of the rough part is that right. It takes so long to get to know and learn a new platform, right? Like that's no easy thing on its own. It's taken us a lot of time to just learn YouTube, and I'm sure Twitch is the same, right? Like it really does take a lot of time to figure all that stuff out and you know grow your channel from there.
Yeah.
So. Oh yeah, a lot, and just streaming in general. I don't know. It's all been a process to me. It's all very new to me. In general, I didn't start any of this stuff until very recently. I never saw myself in front of like a camera or anything like that. Way too much anxiety and stuff like that. But it all kind of happened how it worked out, I guess. But I'm still new and learning it all and everything. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we're right there with you. I mean, I literally started this account back in February. So it's not that old. We've just been trying to do the best we can to grow. And I think one of the things that sucks is like when you're new to a platform, when you're new with your channel or your streams, the big thing is finding your voice, like figuring out how you want to be on camera, figuring out what parts of yourself do you reveal, what parts do you keep in your private life, and trying to, you know, figure out, do I go as authentic as possible or do I try to keep a few things back? Like there's so many questions that I think people don't realize you have to go through to figure out how you want to actually engage with these types of things. And I can imagine, like it was for us, I can imagine for you that's a lot because there's the added neg of you're part of a you know, marginalized group that is many people are going to react to negatively out the gate, regardless of what level of thought or effort you put into that, because they're just starting off from a bigoted position. That really fucking sucks.
Yeah. Yeah.
It does. I mean, I also do. I always loved it though too. I loved the hot tub streaming. I didn't mind the hate. To me, the way I saw hate was, it made me feel like I was doing something right. I'm reaching new audiences who haven't been exposed to trans people, and if I'm upsetting them, then like there's a reason for that, and I kind of use that as just more fuel, more motivation to continue doing it, because I didn't want to let them win, for one, and also it meant I felt like I was changing people's minds and stuff like that by doing sort of stream.
Yeah, absolutely. I honestly I think that's a pretty healthy approach to deal with this kind of stuff, because in a lot of ways I think we often demonize spite, but some degree like being kind of spitefully realizing that your goal, or excuse me, their goal, the people that are attacking us, sending us all these really hateful comments and all this stuff, their goal, their intention here is to get us off the platform. They want us shut down. They want us to go away and run and hide. And so it's like, I can imagine in some ways it's very empowering, because every time you fire up the camera, every time you're in a bikini about to do a hot tub stream, they lose. It doesn't matter what they say at that point. To some degree, you're there, you're showing your body, you're empowered, this is your choice to do what you're doing, and every single moment you're on screen, they're mauling. Like, there's something really great about that to some degree. I don't want to undersell it, but that feels like a really big deal for me, and I definitely can share in that feeling.
Definitely, I completely agree with that. It definitely makes me feel empowered, and I love it.
Yeah, absolutely. So one thing I think was really important to kind of cover here too is I thought it was really great that you had a number of different people sort of pick this story up and say something. So like there was the Pink News, there was the Kotaku article, there was Demon Mama sharing stuff. I was trying to share stuff and trying to point things in that direction. There's a number of other people you mentioned on your Twitter, but it seemed like there was a good number of people that really resonated with your story and kind of tried to make it clear to their audiences, hey guys, just so you know, this is really fucked. What was that like for you to see so much support kind of pop out?
That was overwhelming. I felt completely undeserving, I guess. It was hard for me to have that and sort of continue doing it and fighting and everything, because I did kind of just want to quit. And, you know, it very much deflated me and sort of made me feel like it's kind of hopeless. No matter what, I'm probably just going to end up banned or in the same place, or just there's no chance of getting it undone, anything like that. But the amount of people that did come out and support and everything made me keep at it, I guess. And it wasn't easy for me to do, though, because I didn't feel like I deserved that, but I also felt like I would be letting people down if I didn't keep going and trying and doing whatever I could, basically.
Well, and I think that's the thing that's really important about your story is that as much as there is that inclination or that urge to almost like to want to give up or to want to move away from, because it's such a scary thing you're dealing with. Twitch is a monolith in some ways. You're not really dealing with a particular person. There's not like a coordinator or someone you have like direct interaction with. It feels like this monolithic entity. And I can imagine that fear is very real, but the fact that you kept pushing forward and making it clear, and not only did you say and report what happened, you kind of came with receipts. You brought a bunch of pictures, a lot of things showing this is like a tiny sample of the shit a trans streamer gets. And it's the same shit that every trans streamer gets. It's literally the same copy pasta over and over and over again. And even if you get to the point where you're just like, whatever, fuck these people, the fact is it's still incredibly like exhausting and difficult. And you were willing to put that out there because you thought people should know. And I think that's really fucking important. I think that's a really big deal.
That was thanks to LiQWYD. She saved those for me, because it's messed up with the Twitch ban too. You don't have access to anything. You immediately lose it all. So she had thankfully been diligent and saved a night's worth through screenshots and stuff. So sent me that, and I was like, all right, I can tweet this out. I've got something else.
No, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the things I have to wonder about here is, what do streamers like ourselves do? Like, what is there any way we can try to get the word out more about this? Like, now that you're unbanned, my assumption is that Twitch is just going to be like, okay, now you'll shut up and, we'll go back to status quo until you'll get raided again. Like, what? I guess my thought is more, and this goes out to some of the chats as well, because I'm watching both of them. What do we do with this situation? Because there's so many people that are on Twitch, on YouTube, who are trans and are attempting to get their voices into the world, to not just do their craft, whatever that craft might be, whether it's gaming, in my case, mental health, or just, getting in a hot tub and talking with people. The fact is that that's really important, because our voices deserve to be heard. And so the question I guess I have to you is, and this is to the chats as well, is what do we do with this? How do we move past this, or how do we start pushing for more change? Yeah, there's that lawsuit you mentioned, but do we keep pressing? Do we keep taking those risks? Do we shut up? What do people think about this? How do we deal with this?
I don't have a good idea myself beyond continue talking about it. I guess that's all I can do, is try and make people aware that it exists. It's not just Twitch. It's not any one company. It's widespread throughout tech, and it's a problem. People need to be aware of it. Just because it might not affect it, it can affect a lot of people too. I don't think it is exclusive to trans people either.
Sure.
I saw it happen on TikTok to what's her name, Lizzo, because she wore a bikini on TikTok just like anyone else would wear, and it was taken down because of her, most likely because of the color of her skin and her body shape, because they're not, traditional. So it was taken down, and she was famous enough to call TikTok out on it, and they had to apologize and put it back up. But it's a thing that happens to more than just trans people too. We probably get more of it than anyone else, but it is an issue that can affect anyone.
No, you're absolutely right. And I don't want to discount the experiences of any, person of color or any other marginalized group. I think I focus both because this channel tends to focus on trans issues, and also because right now there's sort of two very large civil rights movements going on in the US, that is BLM and trans rights. There's no accident that like all of a sudden, 14 states decided to put forth a bunch of fucking bills to fuck over trans kids. The thing is that I feel like you just being on that platform helps normalize and helps educate, like you said, people about trans people. It makes us appear as just as everybody else. We're just who we are. And I think my concern here is that I feel like just talking about it, keep talking about it, is a really good idea. I also feel like there needs to be larger discussion panels about this, and I don't know how to organize that. Again, I'm not on Twitch, but I think there needs to be larger discussions about this with members of marginalized communities of how do you present solidarity against, Twitch? If somebody like yourself is banned, do other Twitch streamers speak up? Are they willing to do that? Right? If 4 people do it, they can just ban those 4 people. But if 50 people do it, that's cutting into their bottom line a little more. So that's the kind of thing that I want to see. I mean, yes. I want people like us to be protected online so we can do what the fuck we're doing. I think we do good work.
Well, absolutely. And this stuff, again, like the fact that this stuff does not it doesn't exist in the right sphere. Okay, like this is work and livelihood, and it's not existing in that legal framework as such right now. At least as far as the government's concerned. You've got to go pay taxes, but the way that Twitch interacts with you is not, just say, that of a contractor or a work relationship. And I think that's going to be something that we really got to push on as more and more people make careers doing this stuff. I mean, it is, a really different thing than probably what people were used to with okay, you've got a TV channel, you've got a show on TV, but no, we're all doing the individual thing, in our own way. It's probably the neat part about this, right? You can do whatever you want. So I wonder if that, kind of tackling that kind of view of people on platforms is going to be part of it.
I think it's not a bad idea to try and organize some more things, get more people talking about it. I do know Willow has spoken about it a lot, and I appreciate her doing that on her stream and everything. It was big, and I think we need more people doing that, though, especially in the trans community.
Mm-hmm.
No, absolutely. I guess what I would say is this, and this is just sort of an invitation, is, I think we're both very new, but I think we also have connections to people who are growing and are, we ourselves are growing. I kind of want to just put out there with this video is the idea that I would love to have a large panel discussion about trans people in media spaces and how do we deal with this? Because I legitimately think, I wasn't thinking in the terms of a coalition, but yeah, I kind of want a group of people who are kind of in solidarity with that. It doesn't mean we have to agree on everything. It doesn't mean our politics have to 100% line up. But in the sense of as long as everyone's relatively liberal left leaning and, not a Trump supporter, I suppose.
Advocating
Like
for somebody's,
yeah,
lack of rights.
Not Blair White.
Yeah.
Not Blair White or the person I just covered, Marcus Dibb, the offensive Teesler. That's the name of their channel, literally, the offensive Teesler. If you want, go check out their channel, and should you decide that's inappropriate, there are functions you can use to deal with that. I'm not saying you should do anything. I'm just letting you know those mechanisms exist under YouTube TOS. Just letting you know. So, but my point is, actually, yeah, maybe a coalition is a thing. Maybe there's something where trans creators, and I think someone like, for example, like Demon Mama would really be into something like this, because I don't know who's been paying attention to some of the panels lately, but fuck me.
God damn, yeah. Yeah.
She just got a shit ton of fucking harassment.
I would like to
from
see
the
debate
stop
getting harassed.
From the debate lord who will not be named.
Yeah.
So Destiny. Anyway. But yeah, so but yeah, I guess you're more, I guess my thought would be is, oh, by the way, Prime, welcome to our Discord. I see Prime038 is one of the people in your chat, and apparently they're over in ours now. Hi.
Yes, yes.
A lot of cross-pollination. Neato.
Hey, yeah, they have lots of YouTubers. I like this.
So I guess my thought would be is that, yeah, I mean, let's reach out to people. I would love to have a larger discussion on this stuff and try to get people to support this, so that when this happens inevitably again to one of us, everyone else can kind of speak up about it.
Mm-hmm.
I would definitely be down for that. I think Prime said he talked to Demon Mama already.
I saw that in the chat, yeah.
And I have a feeling that Willow will probably be down for that too. And I'm sure we could find some others as well. I could talk to some people on my team. I know some other mid and smaller streamers for sure who would be interested.
Okay. Yeah, let's
yeah,
be
hit
talking
people
after
up on
this
your end, and
video,
we can work something up. Yeah,
we can kind of figure out where to go from there. More Discord servers.
And so I'll put it out to my mods, because I have spies everywhere. So to the people I have that are in, say, maybe Jessie Gender's camp, talk to her. She's fantastic. Love her to death. She's a YouTuber, and maybe she'd be interested in some of these discussions. Actual Jake, well, not trans, good ally. Also a man wearing a corn suit. Fun guy. I would love to see people like that get the word out, because as much as, I want as many trans people to be supportive and engaging with this discussion, and from a coalition perspective, I also do want cis allies to speak up, because I can't ignore the reality that their voices are sometimes going to be louder than ours. Right? So someone like,
That's true. I think cis allies are important too, because they are typically going to have larger audiences. That's how it usually works.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I just think there needs to be solidarity in this, and I think people need to put aside any kind of nonsense. It's a big deal. Yeah, I just, right now we're at a really weird crossroads politically, and that is that, like, if you can imagine, and like, so I'm old, let me put it that way. And I just turned 40. So one of the things that's really weird from my perspective is I grew up in the age when the 90s, that ancient prehistoric time of dinosaurs, was trans women were basically three things: jokes, victims, or serial killers. And to see the fact that you exist, and Demon Mama exists, and ContraPoints exists, to see there being so many trans women who are not only surviving in this, but some of them damn well thriving. You can't, I don't know if I can ever pass it on to younger trans people how big of a deal this is. And so I feel like pushing on this is a really big deal. And I feel like getting more people to speak up about this is a big deal. So I really appreciate you being down for that. And yeah, I don't know everyone on Twitch. So yeah, put out your feelers, talk to people, see what they're into, and see what they want to do. It'd really mean a lot.
Yeah, I can work on trying to organize something in that regard, because I think it is a topic that needs more more discussion and solidarity among streamers on.
Yeah, absolutely. So it feels like we've kind of come to a really nice place. Is there anything else you want to bring up while you're here for today, or anything else you want to put out there? Obviously, you can bring up where can people find you, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, if you want to find me, I am Ann Atomics on Twitch. That would probably be the best place. I'm Ann Atomics everywhere, so you can find me around.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, I just want to say, like, this has been really wonderful. Thank you so much for coming on and sharing your story.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks really for having me.
Yeah, this
I'll be in touch with you guys, I guess, on if you want to add me as friends on Discord to make it a little easier to whisper and stuff.
Yeah, sure. I'll totally add you. And yeah, please feel free to stay in our Discord. Anyone from Ann's community is welcome to come to our Discord. We are not a debate Discord. We are one that works on improving things, works on mental health. We try to put out resources there for anyone to sort of improve their overall quality of life. So if you're willing to come in and you're doing so in good faith, you're welcome to come to our Discord and just try to come and play and hang out with us. So But awesome. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate this, Ann. And I look forward to the next time we can talk. That would be wonderful. So
sounds good. Thanks for having me.
No worries. Talk to you later. Bye.
Bye.
Hey everybody. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. You can also ring the bell if you want to be notified of our videos. If you want to help the channel, you can donate at streamlabs.com/transgirltherapist/tip. You also can become a patron at patreon.com/transgirltherapist. For as low as $3, you can support our channel. Thanks for watching.